Hello, welcome to another Pen Talk. Thank you for joining me in my exploration of the incredible, amazing, diverse, wide world of pens. And yes, you see a bunch of pens in front of you. Interesting name, Eyeye, whatever. All different colors. A nice leader in liquid systems, smooth writing, always a nice feature for a pen. And if we look at the other side, it looks like there's a lot of different pens that Eyeye makes. And of course there's a nice label that Amazon uses to find this in their incredible warehouses, probably by a robot, and delivered to your door by a person, not a drone yet. And yes, these are made in China. So we're going to explore these, compare them to another inexpensive disposable pen that I have purchased before on Amazon, but it doesn't appear to be available anymore. And these are a little bit more expensive, kind of what we would expect from the current economic environment that we're in. But let me show you these and see if they're something you might be interested in. These are great first-time pen enabler pens. So if you meet somebody who says they'd like to try fountain pens, you can provide them with this inexpensive disposable pen and they can determine whether they like it enough to maybe purchase one of their own. So one of the things that motivated me to get this disposable pen was this disposable pen. I'd bought 2 sets of these. They were a good price. I think I got maybe 9 of them for $5, but that was over a year ago. I like that they have this label on that tells you the ink color, because sometimes it's not obvious from the finials or looking at the barrel. But the thing that I've noticed is these disposable pens were much more consistent than these disposable pens. Each one of these in each of their colors just wrote really well, very nice, consistently. In this one, some of the colors, red especially, just didn't write as well. And I'm not really that much a fan of this type of design. I don't like white pens in general, but I wanted to give it a try. Here are some other listings on Amazon that if you're in the mood for some disposable pens or you want to pen enable some of your friends, then I would recommend these. You get more pens, and I think the design might work better than this one. But if this is something that you like, then I don't think anything that wrong with buying them. It's just that these are more consistent, at least from the ones that I've had. But that's what's fun about fountain pens. They're not digital, they're analog, and because of that, they have a wide range. For this first writing example, I used 24-pound copy paper, because I think that's what most of these pens might be used on. Disposable pens that you carry around with you and write on whatever paper's available. The colors for most of these are pretty nice. The red is the only one that doesn't seem to write very well. Pink is fine, orange is a little bit on the light side, but not bad. If we flip it over, we'll see that the ink behaves fairly well on this 24-pound copy paper. No real bleed through. A little bit of show through, but not significant. So then I'll go to the high-end paper. Here it is on Toma River paper. And not much different. The orange is a little bit lighter. So this paper doesn't absorb ink like the copy paper does, so it's not going to pull as much ink out of the nib as copy paper does. But as you can see, the colors look pretty good. I like the green. And the red comes out okay. Pink, orange, I guess, is the least. If we flip it over, we see practically nothing. And Toma River is known for show-through, but not in this example. So here I compared the Pure Spirit with the Eyeye. In the black, the Eyeye appears to be a little bit darker, and this is also on copy paper. But the dark blue in the Pure Spirit is more ink than the blue. So as you can see, it's not consistent from pen to pen, and the ink may have a little bit to do with that. And the red here on the Pure Spirit is a little bit better than the red on the Eyeye. And if we flip it over, we'll see no real show through or bleed through. So both pens work well on less expensive paper. So I just picked these two to write with. Like I say, they're fairly consistent, except for the red on the Eyeye. But this is on my normal paper that I use to test my pens on. And these all write well. A little bit of feedback, but it's a fine nib. Almost bordering on extra fine based on my view here. And here you can see the Eyeye Black looks darker and better, more ink put down than the Spirit one. In the purple, the Spirit one's a little bit more than the Eyeye. So like I said, variations, maybe there's some variations in the nibs. These are very inexpensive pens, so completely machine made. And certainly no QC, no testing of writing before they were shipped out. And also the inks may be a little bit different in these pens based on the color or the pen. So now for what it's worth, we're going to test the water resistance of this ink. This is a 24-pound copy paper. We're just going to dunk it in the water here and see what happens. You know, you can see a little bit of the ink being lifted off the paper. Not unusual. Yeah, these are low-end pens. And we're going to let it sit there for a while and see which ink survives the best, which has the most water resistance. Stay tuned. Well, I think the ink has responded to the water as I expected. It's been in here about 15 minutes. As we'll see, the only thing that really survived was black. So in the other pens, all the dark colors were fairly water resistant, and the lighter colors were not. And this one, so if you wanted to use these pens for something that might get wet, black is your color of choice. The blue is a distant second. So we're nearing the end of this video review, and you might ask, why do I review these types of pens? And because I think it's good to look at the entire breadth of fountain pens that are available to us through various purchasing platforms. And disposable pens do have their place amongst pens. To me, like I said, they're one of the best ways to pen enable somebody because they don't need a bottle, they don't have to worry about cartridges. There's a ton of ink in these pens, and they write pretty good. Enough for somebody to determine whether a fountain pen and exploring the world of fountain pens might be something they would enjoy doing. If you're not into Eyeye or some of the other disposable pens that are available in bulk, there's always the Varsity, the standard, the one that I think started all this. And all of them have the same type of capillary feed system and small nibs that kind of crimp on. So there's no real difference there. You know, there's a lot of people making these types of pens. I did a review of a Bic one. You know, take your pick. Lots of choices. But to me, again, it's one part of the hobby. And I enjoy showing you something that is very affordable and works as advertised. So with that, I hope the video found everyone safe, healthy, and happy, enjoying your pens, enjoying your day, enjoying everything. Yeah, I do. So with that, thank you all for watching. We've reached the end, and we will say bye-bye-bye-bye.